We're going to talk about buying binoculars. And if anybody's ever looked at binoculars, and you always see numbers 7 by 35, 8.5 by 26, 8 by 42, 10 by 50. The first step in understanding binoculars is understanding these numbers. What in the heck do all those numbers mean? And so we're going to tell you. The first number is the magnification power. So if your eyeball, Ed Gunther's Mark I eyeball, is 0 power, so it's magnified 7 times if you're looking at 7 by 35. The second number is the diameter of the objective lens in millimeters. And so what you learn is, make that quit ringing. So the things to remember are, the larger the diameter of the objective lens, the more light is gathered and squished down and go into your eye. And if the magnification is the same, then the image will appear brighter. So if you have an 8 by 42 and then an 8 by 50, then the 8 by 50 is going to appear to be brighter because you get a bigger round circle that squishes down the light into your eye. And binoculars are just like telescopes. They effectively, other than having magnification, make the diameter of your pupil the diameter of the telescope. So imagine if, like an owl's pupils get real big. Same with yours. Your pupils get so big, but now if you can make your pupils 7 by 35, suddenly you're getting a whole lot more light into your eye, and you can see better and see more detail because of the magnification. Dan, anything you want to weigh in on there?
Yeah, the first number indicates, it's, of course, as Kent said, it's the power of the eyepiece lens. And what that means is the fact that what you are looking at is something that will appear to be 7 times closer to you than the human eye. So it's not 7 times bigger. It's actually, it makes the image look like it's 7 times closer to you because you're looking through 7 power. And then the 35, as Kent said, is the size of the outside lens, the objective lens, and that enables you to get more light into your eye to give you a brighter image. You can actually measure the amount of light coming into your eye by dividing the 35 by the 7. So 7 to the 35 is 5. So that means in millimeters, the little exit pupil, it's called, is 5 millimeters. Wait a minute.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's what it is.
I didn't get into the higher math, but that number can be important because if you know the diameter of your pupil, then that gives you an idea of how, one, it's going to be, the bigger that number, the easier it's going to be to find and get into your eye. And number two, if your pupil is a certain size and all that light's going into your eye, it's going to also make it appear to be brighter. So,
also, I'll add one thing. One reason why 7 or 8 power is the most popular is because the human body can actually handle 7 power without any tremor, without any of your hands, because your heart's beating. So believe it or not, if you try to stand still looking through a telescope, for example, you're not going to be able to look through there unless you're on a tripod. But right, with a pair of binoculars, 7 power is the power that a human body can take without having the unwanted tremoring.
Yeah. So, and like Dan said, every time your heart beats, your hands move a little bit. You don't realize it, but they do. And so in astronomy world, 10 by 50 is sort of the starting size. And a trick I've learned is, and I can show you here with this cap on, you put it on top of the speakers, it works the same thing. One thing I do, whether I'm looking at birds or looking at use them for astronomy, I will take the binoculars like this and then grab onto the bill of my cap and hold the binoculars like that. And if it's a snapback or fitted cap, locking the binoculars to the cap also locks it to your head. And so you can steady your hands even more by using that little trick, whether for birding or sports or astronomy as well.
That's a great suggestion, Kent. Thank you. That's great.
Every little bit of reducing vibration and shake makes what you're looking at look better. And you're always on that quest for that.
So if one of our watchers or our fans right now were to say, I've got an 8x42, and then some guy comes to you and says, well, look, I got a 10x50. Okay, he thinks he's got the best one for him because it's got a greater power. But guess what? If he wants to look at a bird on a limb, he can't hold it still enough without a tripod.
Yeah. Or they come up with 20x80s or 20x100s. Boy, look at these. You can't. And those things are so big and so heavy. Yes, you can hand hold them for a few seconds, but it becomes serious work really quick and you just can't hold them still. All right, so there's two distinct types of binoculars out there. And these are both MagnaView 8x42s. Roof prism, which is the one on the left. This pair happens to be fully multi-coated. And there's all sorts of different, fully coated, fully multi-coated, on and on. Quick primer on that. Fully coated means the front elements and back elements are coated. Fully multi-coated means the surfaces are all coated inside and out. The one on the left, because of how they're made, they're water resistant. So you can get them dewy and damp and foggy and they'll be okay. The ones on the right, which are poro prism, so they have this standard traditional zigzag in the barrel of the binoculars, are called a poro prism. And this model are not water resistant. Interestingly enough, the close focus on this pair of poro prism is 12 feet, whereas the close focus on the one on the left is 19.6 feet. And that close focus distance sometimes does come into play in the birder world, doesn't it, Dan?
Absolutely.
Why?
Well, because you might be in a place where you're trying to be pretty quiet, and all of a sudden a bird comes towards you and lands 8 feet away. Most binoculars would require you to make noise by stepping back about 1 or 2 yards so that you can get it into focus. But with the binocular that's designed, I know that you have some binoculars that actually are inside at 10 feet. Mm-hmm. Those would be preferable for the birding world. But for the astronomy world, nobody cares about close focus.
Correct.
But for the birders, there's even some binoculars that have 5 or 6 feet.
Yeah, very special because of that specialized use. Correct. And you think, well, why would I want to look at a bird that was 6 feet from me? Because you really want to look at those details.
Right on.
Right. A bird 6 feet away that's magnified 7 times is you're going to get really good detail in what you're looking at and can really bear down. Whereas a bird that's 35 yards away still is a very small little bird, hard to pick out. Is that eye ring all the way around, or is it partial on top and on bottom? And it's in the shade. What color is that rump really, or the wing bar really? So, but I've showed 8x42s here. There is a more common, the really preferred size is an 8x35, right, Dan? Or a 7x35.
Yeah, we can't get lost in the numbers necessarily, but Kent is correct. You can still hold an 8 power without hand tremor, but that's why the human body can handle 7 power. So, the common, I think the most popular specifications for a binocular generally is 7x35 with the 5 millimeter exit pupil. This one here is just give you a little more power to 8 power, and you still have a little less than 5 uh, 5 millimeters of exit pupil.
Yeah, 4.3. I just did the math real quick. 4.3.
You're
So
quick, dude, man. But look at the close focus on that.
yeah, 6.5 feet.
Bird
Exactly what
watchers
you're talking
love that
about.
one.
Which is this pair of binoculars right here I've got. And you know, they're fully multi-coated, they're phase coated, waterproof. They're this open bridge design, which makes them really easy to hold. They're really light. Just a beautiful pair of binoculars. So the point is, you know, just like if you're building a house, there's specialized hammers. You can roof a house with a framing hammer, and you can frame with a roofing hammer, but using the proper tool makes life a whole lot easier for you. And so if you're going to be out birding, you know, 7x35, 6.5x35, 8x35 is that, you know, really primo sweet spot. And especially if you can get close focus down in that 6, 7, 8 foot range. So Dan, what's your favorite pair? 7x35?
No, my favorite pair is 8x42.
8x42?
842.
Why?
Mainly because it has at least 5 millimeters of exit pupil. And also, it's not so heavy that you can't hold it. Because you get a 10, if you get a 10 power magnification, no, not magnification, but a 50 millimeter objective lens, that gets to be pretty heavy over the course of using it in the field. But 42 millimeters just has turned out to be the most common contrast from a 7 to a 10. 8 power seems to be it.
Okay. So next week, we're going to talk about spotting scopes.